Alright, so a new Roblox game has dropped, and of course it's another anime game. That's no problem though, because this one, unlike Rampage, is actually good. So, this is called Shonen Smash. Now, as you may have guessed from the name, it is just Smash Bros. With anime characters. And that's not really a bad thing, because this game is actually unique. Like, it doesn't feel like any other game on Roblox right now, even though it is just a knockoff of Smash Bros. Like, if you take, what's that one game called again? Ah, there we go, Project Smash. If you take Project Smash, for example, that just feels like a battlegrounds game with some added, like, twist of needing to get knocked off the map to actually, die, rather than having a HP bar. So yeah, this game actually takes a unique approach by having it in 2D, even though it's practically copying all the other Smash Bros. Games, because there's not a game like this on Roblox currently. There used to be a game similar to this one. I'm not sure if it's the same game remastered, but I really like that game, and I really like this game too. So first, let's just go over the issues I have with the game. So, the main one, and I think like the only one worth mentioning, is the layout of the menu. So I know that's a bit nitpicky, but that's a good thing because, there's no major issues in the game. It's a good game. So, as for the menu, it's very ambiguous as to what everything does, and you actually need to go around clicking everything to make sure you know what you're doing. So create, that just creates a new match. That seems obvious, but not to me apparently, because I went an entire 30 minutes without realizing that you could go train and test moves and test keybinds, but yeah. I think it would just benefit from having like either icons or taking up more space or something, because you're not going to see it in game either, like you would with a battlegrounds game, for example. Like in games like that, the menu is not. I mean, the menu is there all the time, so you're going to see it all the time. It needs to be small, it needs to be compact. With this game, you could really have just went all out, just had the menu like cover a lot of the screen, because after all, once you get in a game, it's all going to be gone anyway. Um, so yeah, same thing goes for the summoning and the controls. Both of them are under the menu section, which I don't believe makes much sense at all, because like menu doesn't really imply, yeah, that's where I'm gonna find everything. It implies that's where the start of the game is. So like if you click menu, you're gonna go back to the title screen. Like, that's just my personal opinion. It's like just using ambiguous wording, I suppose. I think there should be separate menus for controls and summoning. Summoning should have its own dedicated GUI, let's be real. It's an important part of the game. You want to summon for new characters and unlock new stuff. Like, if you've ever played any anime tower defense games, you'd know that the summoning has a dedicated area where you can go to actually summon for things, and also a dedicated button. And I think this game could benefit by doing the exact same thing. I know it's like kind of copying, but it's not also not, because it's not even a part of the same genre, let's be real. And in its current state, I feel like new players, which is everybody right now because the game just released, are going to get confused when they enter the game, just as I did. Because I entered the game, I didn't know what I was doing. The tutorial only teaches you how to play the game and not how to do anything else. So the first thing I did when I got into the game was that I switched over to my controller. And when I did that, I did not know how to change the keybinds on that controller, because when you go into menu, you see the controls, and then there's a menu like right next to it on a real small button that says other controls. So I figured it out after like 10 seconds, but it's just really strange to put it in such a discrete location. Another thing I would prefer the game had that isn't really a necessity is multiple keys bound to the same ability. So if I'm playing Smash Bros or something, I often put X and Y, B and Y on the same keybind. So like I have those both be my special attack, and then I'd have A and X both be my normal attacks. So if that is possible to add, I would prefer it. Of course, it's not that big of an issue because that's just me being strange, I guess. But yeah, like if they added that, that'd just make the game so much nicer for me to play with personally. That's about it for the display issues. Now, time to go into some combat issues, and I've only played with the regular Brawler and Luffy so far. And using both those characters, there is a clear advantage on which one is better, and that is obviously going to be Luffy. But there is one issue with the current like regular Brawler character that I just don't like, and it's the up special. Like, when you use it, you go directly into the sky with no horizontal movement at all. So there's no way you're actually landing that on an opponent with brain cells. Like, I think this game would benefit from having a balance team to actually, like, balance out the characters so there isn't any, like, characters that are too strong and characters that are too weak. Because out of the two characters I played, there's a very clear winner on which one is better. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the issues I found while playing the game for like 20 minutes. And time to go into the positives. The combat feels very, very nice. Like, I have control over everything that's going on. So, when I was playing with Brawler, I felt the same way, even with that annoying up special. I just avoided using it. So, yeah, the M1s are nice, the dodges are also nice. I don't like how there's a button for dashing. I don't think that makes much sense, and I think you should be able to bind it to your just your movement key, so it's like automatic. But yeah, because when I'm holding down, I also need to press a button on my controller to make myself spike down. Like, I think it'd make more sense if I just spiked down when I held down, but I guess that would conflict with down specials, so I understand why they've done it. But I would like the option to apply that to my own setup, because I don't really find that an issue. Back onto the positives, I really like how the ulting system works in this game. Although there is my concern of there not being a time limit on the ult. I think that's kind of ridiculously OP, but what I really like about it is that when you're in ult, you have an ability that will end your ult instantly in exchange for doing a lot of damage. Now, I think that's really cool because not only does it change your base kit to be stronger, it also gives you one final blow that would just remove your ult, and I think that just sets it apart from other games, really. But as I said earlier, if your enemy doesn't actually activate the move, I believe they can just stay in ult forever, which is a much smarter decision. However, there is also a time limit on these games, so the enemy might just pop ult at the start and then use their special ability and then pop ult again, use it, just get as many kills as possible, which also makes sense. However, if there are like elimination based rounds, which are created with the custom create button that I mentioned earlier, then that will become an issue, because the only way to get them out of ult is by baiting them into using their special move, which I'm assuming they don't want to do if them being in an ult is an issue, or just by killing them, which is also very hard because, you know, they're in ult. So yeah, all in all, I really like the game. I like the unique playstyle. I also like how it's controller friendly, even with the complaints I had earlier of it being hard to find. Another thing I like about the game is the animations, and that applies to abilities and cutscenes. So, like, when I knock someone out, for example, they can splat on my screen like they do in Super Smash Bros., or they can, like, go out into the background. And also, when I'm summoning, it's very much like Dragon Ball Legends in the sense that it does an animation, and then how the animation turns out determines what I get. Yeah, I also really like how it's not keyboard or mouse like all the other Roblox games, and how you actually can choose between using just your mouse or just your keyboard for PvP. I'm assuming that feature is inspired by Super Smash Bros. 2, which was obviously used with keyboard, because nobody used a controller on a computer back in those days. But yeah, I really like the game. I'll probably be playing it more. Let me know if you want more content on this game. I'll probably try and make a tier list on it. I know I'm a tier list merchant. Yeah, I'll try and get all the characters, test them all out, see which is the best or whatever, and then I'll make a video on each of them. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.